How's it going, guys? It's Adelph, and I just first want to start off by saying I do apologize for not doing a video in like 2 weeks. I just graduated high school, and I've also been on vacation. So yeah, that's because I haven't been really live streaming much, I haven't been doing videos much, I haven't been playing WoW in general much, just because, you know, I've been on vacation, I've been graduating, been doing stuff with real life. So yeah, I recently has been just playing my shaman, and I really want to make sure I can do a class guide for every single class and spec. So that's kind of my goal with this channel, is to get through every single guide and every single class and every single spec to make sure that everybody can just hop on a character, come to my channel, and kind of see how to get the basics of gameplay and whatnot. So yeah, so today I'm going to be covering Resto Shaman. Like I said, I was playing it for a couple days, and it's really fun. And in my opinion, and in other people's opinion, it's one of the easiest healers. Right now, they're pretty retarded. People complain a lot about just shamans in general, and I could totally see why. And so today, I'm going to just be covering, you know, the basic guide with the talents, the glyphs, the spec, gemming, reforging, macros, rotation, you know, everything, the bread and butter of Resto Shaman and how the mechanics work and whatnot. So yeah, just gonna hop right into it, right quick. You know, obviously specialization, you want to be Resto. What Resto gets different from, you know, the regular shamans is you get your Earth Shield, which is a huge healing ability that basically you put on a target and increases the healing by 20% on that target. That's like the big deal. It's got 9 charges that last 10 minutes, but pretty much those charges will get used up before the 10 minutes, obviously. So just make sure you always have your Earth Shield on your target. That's extremely important. I'll get into that later. Next, you know, you get the Riptide. This is a really good ability that initially heals the target, and then it heals over time for like 18 seconds. Basically, your chain heals are more 25% more effective, but you don't chain heal at all. It's pretty much just a heal over time, and that gets your buff rolling. And your buff is called Ancestral Vigor. All your other buffs are passive through either your totems or just in general, but this Ancestral Vigor is applied whenever you heal, and basically this allows you to increase the health of your teammates while healing is occurring, and it goes based off your healing, but it can stack up to a certain amount. So basically you can have your whole team topped up to like an additional 60k HP on top of their original HP. So it's pretty much like a stand buff. As long as you keep your hots rolling at all times, this should stay up the entire game. So that's another benefit of Riptide. Plus the overall, you know, instant heal plus the heal over time is really good. After that, you get your Gradient Healing Wave. This is an ability that you're going to be using a lot. It's generally low mana, gets you a big heal, and again, I'll go into another rotation later. One of the main abilities here you get is your Spirit Link Totem, which is your totem you can put down, and anybody in this link right here, as you can see, is shared HP with you. This goes on every 1 second, and it shares your HP across whoever's in the ring on your team. It also reduces damage taken by 10%. So this is very good for, you know, if one teammate's low and you get your other 2 teammates, you get you and your other teammate in the link. You know, you can equalize everybody's HP out, and then you can start healing one guy, and they'll heal up everybody at the same time. It's really a beneficial, obviously, ability. It's a major cooldown, and you want to make sure you don't waste it. You can use it properly. Another good thing is you can actually use the damage caused by Spirit Link Totem to break CCs. So yeah, it's another kind of hidden thing that most people don't really think about. So yeah, into talents now. They're pretty simple. They're pretty straightforward except for one. So yeah, first you're obviously going to be going Nature's Guardian. Pretty much all shamans go Nature's Guardian now. Whenever attack brings you down below 30%, you get an additional 25% HP, and it's, you know, it's really good. It helps you. It's basically kind of like a second life. It's kind of like cheat death almost, but not at 1%, it's at 30. So yeah, this is something you want to keep track of. It can happen every 30 seconds, so if you're getting hit really hard and this ticks, you want to make sure you're in a safe spot for the next 30 seconds because you're not really going to have that buffer. So after that, this is like the swap one that you change a lot. Typically I run Earth Grab Totem. You know, it grabs roots the enemies and it also reduces their movement speed by 50%. You can also, if you're running with a heavy melee comp, you can run your Windwalk Totem. You know, it's like a freedom pretty much. Every minute you get your 6-second freedom, which is obviously extremely beneficial for melee classes, but typically, like I said, I run Earth Grab because I Earth Grab the healer around a corner, and then I Cap Totem him. And it's just a pretty good combo for another CC because Shamans really don't have that much CC when it comes down to outside of Hex. Past that, you want to use Called Elements. It's really good. So it basically refreshes all your totems that are shorter than a 3-minute cooldown. So if I Tremor here, and then I call the elements, I can Tremor again. You know, if there's 2 fears, or if I need a grounding, I can do it again. Or, you know, 2 caps, 2 earth grabs, 2 anythings. I use it. I make sure my healing stream is on cooldown and before I use it too, because healing stream is another extremely beneficial ability. So it's just something to keep in mind. You know, if you have a stressful circumstance, you can always have 2 tremors, 2 grounds, 2 anything. That's a shorter cooldown. And this also works for Windwalk Totem and Earth Grab too. After that, you want to use it's NS or Ancestral Swiftness. It's the NS of Resto Shamans, or NS of Shamans in general. Passively increases your spell haste by 5%, but it also gets you, it's an insta-cast spell. Obviously extremely beneficial, and again I'll come into kind of the rotation later, so this will come into play. Next, you want to use Rushing Streams. Basically, just your healing stream can heal 2 targets now, and it increases the healing of healing stream by 15%. Healing stream totem carries. I'm just going to be honest here. It's the reason why Shamans are so good. Look, it's just healing. Obviously, this is outside of arena, and I'm not fully geared, but healing stream can crit, and I'm getting healed 107k, which would be a 60k in arena by a totem that I don't have to do anything, and this can heal 2 people. So basically, totems will carry the shaman. Just gonna be honest here. It's the reason why they're so good. It's on a 30-second cooldown, so this is really, look, it's off cooldown already. It's insane. You keep your healing stream totem. Your team is pretty much never gonna die. It's when you get stuck without a totem, or when you get some severe pressure going down. That's the dangerous spot. But that's just a 30-second totem. It's insane. After that, you want to be using Unleashed Fury. Basically, this empowers your Unleashed Elements ability and allows you to unleash an element, which heals, gives your target a little dot. Plus, the next heal on them is guaranteed to be a big heal. Increased damage, increased healing by, I think it's 60%. Let's see. Yeah, 50%. So yeah, you're going to get a big heal guaranteed off. So yeah, now into glyphs. These pretty much never change, you know, except for one. You got your Hex Glyph, reduces cooldown of Hex by 10 seconds. This is good. Totemic Vigor increases your totems by 5% of your maximum HP. This is really good. You're never going to want to change this. And then there's Ghost Wolf, which basically allows you to be into Ghost Wolf and be less hindered by movement slowing. So you can just Shaman Pillar, just sit around that pillar, just run in pillars every day, just run around these pillars. And that's pretty much the benefit of a Shaman. The one that you would change is Healing Stream Totem. Basically, it reduces Frostfire and nature damage taken by 10% if you're for 6 seconds when a teammate gets healed by the Healing Stream Totem. So this is good against Frost DKs, Frost Mages, you know, Fire Mages, anybody that's going to be using Frostfire and nature damage. This is something you want to change out. Typically, I change this out for the Hex Glyph because Totemic Vigor and Ghost Wolf are pretty much the bread and butter, the must-haves for a Resto Shaman. So yeah, got that down. Going into, you know, your gemming, reforging, your stat priority and everything. It's really simple as a Resto Shaman. You're going to be going 100% crit gems. They are called, let's see if I can get it open here, right here. Smooth Sun's Radiance, 100%, every single socket, just crit gems. Then for your meta, you're going to want to be doing the Destructive Primal Diamond, which increases your crit chance by 432 and also gives you a 1% Spell Reflect. The Spell Reflect right now, I'm not sure if it's 1% because it ticks so much. You get those clutch Cyclone Reflects on the healer. It's really crazy and extremely beneficial. I highly recommend running it. And yeah, so again, into reforging, you're going to want to reforge. Number 1 is Spirit, and number 2 is Crit Strike. That's it, just extremely simple. Shaman's Mastery, if you can get it here, it actually increases the potency of healing by, you know, your percentage based on the current HP of the target. So the lower the HP, the bigger the heal. So if you combine this with the rotation, I'm going to be covering in a second, lower targets, say around 100k, are going to be getting huge heals. Like it's not uncommon. This is why Shamans are retarded. It's not uncommon for a target to be at 10% HP, and then within one heal, one NS big heal, you got your target up to 100%. I've done it so many times, and it's what makes shamans really fun because it's not over till it's over. You know, you can't woo too early. You're gonna have to guaranteed big heals with the target being lower HP just because of the overall extreme boost you get from the mastery. So again, combined with your crit strike, it's just insane amount of healing with one heal, with a single heal. And then it comes into your totems, which keep your teammates all up all the time, plus your Riptide. And you know, shamans are really fun, they're really easy, and yeah. So going into kind of like the rotation now, after you guys got the stat priority, it's really simple. Basically, you're gonna want to be doing Healing Stream Totem on cooldown. Just keep this thing up whenever you can. When it's on cooldown, you want to use it. Just put it on a key. It's easy to press because you're gonna be pressing it a lot. Just keep track of that cooldown and use it all the time. After that, you know, you're gonna want to do your Riptide off cooldown. Riptide is extremely beneficial, and the best part about Riptide right here is this Tidal Waves buff it gives you. The cast time of your healing wave or greater healing is reduced by 30%, and the critical chance of the healing surge is increased by 30%. So basically what this means is you can cast your big heals. You know, this is an extremely long cast, you can see here, huge cast time. You can cast them way quicker now with this Riptide buff. You can do 2 of them too because it gives you 2 stacks. So what you want to be doing is you want to keep your Riptide up on all times on all your teammates. You know, it lasts for 17 seconds, but it's on like a 6-second cooldown. So you can pretty much keep your Riptide up on every single teammate in your group. After that, you want to be doing greater healing waves and healing waves. Healing waves, obviously, if your target is like 70%, like your teammate is like 70% or above, healing waves just because the mana cost is like nothing. I'm not even using Water Shield right now, and I'm not even going from just casting healing waves. So if you have your Water Shield, you use your Riptide, your healing waves. You know, keep your targets between 70 and 100%. Really simple. Keep down your Healing Stream Totem. It's really easy to keep your team topped off. If your teammate is taking substantial damage, where you're gonna need a big heal, but you don't want to blow cooldowns, like maybe 50%, 40%, and you're kind of worried, what you want to do is make sure you got your Riptide buff. Make sure you put Earth Shield on your target. Then you're gonna want to unleash elements, and then you're gonna want to use your Greater Healing Wave, 300k, and that wasn't even a crit. So basically what you're doing is you're combining your Riptide buff, you're combining your Earth Shield buff, you're combining your Unleash Elements buff, then you're combining your Mastery buff, and you're combining your Greater Heal. So this is just like extreme boosting a Greater Healing Wave on your target, because you get your Mastery. You know, if your target's pretty low, you get your Mastery 64% boost, you get your Unleashed Elements 50% boost, you get your Earth Shield 20% boost, and then you get your Fast Cast with your Riptide. So basically it's just going to be doing huge heals on your target with your Greater Healing Wave. The only time I would ever use Healing Surge is if you're just in a stressful spot and you just really need to get out some heals. Just look at my mana though, look how fast I can go That's what I see a lot of shamans doing, and then they complain about being so fast. Just look at my mana, just going down. I'm just Healing Surge, and it's not even that good of a heal, like 145k, 145, 200k with the crit, 145k. You know, my mana's, I'm now, and now I'm gonna have to use my Mana-Tide Totem, which is bad. So yeah, just try to stay away from using Healing Surge. Healing Surge is extremely, something you don't want to use in a stressful circumstance, but it's gonna screw over your mana, definitely. I highly recommend just using your Greater Healing Wave with your, with your Riptide, and you use your Healing Wave and your Greater Healing Wave. It should keep your teammate with you in combination with your Healing Stream Totem. Your team shouldn't die with that. Alright, so now this is your like, oh shit moment. My team's gonna die. He's just going down super fast, like he's gonna tank. You don't want to do the same thing as I talked about with the big heal. You're gonna want to Earth Shield, Unleash Elements, and you want to throw out an NS heal right here, 687k. So basically, I have a macro here, and what it does is it casts Ancestral Swiftness and Greater Healing Wave. And if you use that in combination, with your Mastery, with your crits modifiers, you get a huge instacast heal, which again will top your teammate up completely. When it comes down to using totems, Healing Tide Totem, your big totem, this will top your entire team off, guaranteed. If you feel like you're gonna get into a big CC chain, you want to use this. If your whole team is dying by dots, you got a Warlock and a DK on you, and everybody's dying because of dots, that's really good to top your team off. It's good under pressure, and pretty much it'll guarantee success. It'll guarantee that you live for a short amount of time, for the duration of the totem. When it comes down to like things like hexing and whatnot, just make sure you keep in track of your DRs. I typically hex people who can't, or people who can dispel the hex. So I'm hexing mages, I'm hexing shamans, hexing druids. People who can dispel hex with their dispel or with their remove curse ability, I'm hexing them, just because it's not going to be effective if you're going to hex somebody and then it's just going to get removed. Or what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to cross CC. You have to cross CC the person who can remove the hex to actually hex the target that you want to put into a CC chain. When it comes down to supporting your team and doing damage, you have your Stormlash totem. This is really good for when a hunter pops Stampede and everybody's popping their cooldowns. Just throw down Stormlash. Extremely, help your team, obviously. You have your Fire Elemental. This does a huge amount of damage. This guy will just hit, do a huge amount of damage on your target. When you first pop him, if you're not being attacked, he actually won't attack anybody. So you want to make sure you use like a Frost Shock on somebody, on like the enemy that you want to be killing, so he'll go after him. You also have your Earth Elemental totem on 1 minute offset from your Fire Elemental, but also on a 5-minute cooldown. So these are just extra things you can use to do damage. Another benefit from a shaman is the purging ability. I have a cool nifty macro here. It basically, if it's a friendly teammate, it will cleanse them, and if it's an enemy, it'll purge them. So this is extremely beneficial if you want to just quickly target somebody and start purging them. It's really cool, obviously. And then if you just need to /quickly target your friend and cleanse them, it's good too. I also highly recommend doing like a cleanse 1-2-3 macro. Right here I have it. I get just party /cast bracket at party 1 bracket purify spirit. I'll put these in the description as well, so you just copy paste them really easily. I just do this for 1 and 2, and then I have a self cleanse macro as well. So then going into like totems, like countering things. How are you going to counter things? Tremor totem obviously counters fear. I wouldn't tremor anything besides a full fear. If you're running against, well, it comes down to situation actually. If you're running against a priest, he's going to be fearing every 30 seconds. Your tremor totem is on a 1 minute cooldown, so you got to keep this into mind. The first fears, both fears he's going to do are going to be full fears, so you want to save it for a fear that's actually going to be harmful to your teammates. If you get more than one person caught in a fear, or they're throwing out some burst, you want to make sure you save the tremor totem. Don't waste it on stupid fears like 2-second fears. If you're fighting a warlock, this is when it kind of got to strategize, because they're going to be fearing on cooldown and on DR. So I would only tremor the first fear of an 8-second fear. I wouldn't tremor 4 or 2-second fear, because honestly, if you got your healing stream totem out, your team's not going to die in that 2 or 4 seconds unless they have some insane lucky crits. I would highly recommend saving this tremor totem. It's going to get you out of a sticky situation later. So this also works for sleeps, like from a wyvern sting, from like a hunter. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. Grounding totems. Here's a useful macro for grounding totems. /stop casting and then cast grounding totem. You got a big, if you need to ground something quickly and you're casting, you're not going to be able to stop casting and then cast your grounding. You gotta quickly do this macro so you can pop down your grounding totem. So it's just something beneficial to use, and I recommend using it. Let's see what's some other good macros. My Ascendance macro. This basically uses all my cooldowns. This is my my overall Ascendance macro. I use this for my enhancement spec. I use this for my Ellie spec. Anything. Basically, what it does is it cast my Blood Fury, which is my racial. It would cast Elemental Mastery if I was on Elemental spec. It casts my Ascendral Guidance, which if I was enhancement. Then it casts my Ascendance, and then it casts my Spirit Walker's Grace. So this basically allows you to cast and move and top your entire team up. This is kind of like your, I'm dying, everybody's dying macro, one shot, YOLO. It's your Ascendance macro, and use it when your team is getting low overall, not just you or not just one person, because it basically, Ascendance doesn't increase the healing you do, it increases the healing spread across your team. So it's not just going to increase your single target healing. That's what Unleash Elements would do. It's going to actually increase your whole team's healing as a whole, not just yourself. So just keep that into mind. I see a lot of people, just one person's low and they pop Ascendance, like it's useless. You just wasted it, and I get a free cooldown, you know. So when it comes down to like using cooldowns, this is probably the final part I'll cover. When it comes down to like using cooldowns, obviously can't say enough. Healing stream on cooldown, just use it on cooldown. You just want to be using it on the cooldown for sure. Then probably after that, I would go into your healing tide totem as your second priority. Like that's your go-to guy if the team's taking pretty good damage and you need some help. Healing tide totem is good. Make sure you don't cancel your own totem. I've seen so many people put down a healing tide totem and then put a healing stream right over it and just cancels it. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, just something to keep in mind. After that, after your healing tide totem, I definitely go into Ascendance, using Ascendance next. So Ascendance being your second go-to cooldown, your Ascendance macro with your Spirit Walker's Grace. After that, I would be using my Spirit Link as probably the last of my cooldowns to use, just because of its, you know, it's more power. It's the most powerful of all your cooldowns. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. Make sure you realize that your NS macro is on like a 1.5 minute cooldown, so don't waste it. Use it in, you know, dire circumstances, and just make sure you use it efficiently. It's pretty much cooldown management, and not as strong as like a Holy Pally, but definitely you got to make sure you don't waste stuff, because that's when the enemy team will take advantage of you. So yeah, when it comes down to Mana Tide Totem, basically if you're at like 70% mana, just pop Mana Tide Totem. It's got a short enough cooldown, whereas it's useful to use just to keep yourself 100% mana. You know, I'm fighting right now through the Mana Tide Totem, and I'm not really going down too bad, just casting Healing Surges. So it definitely does increase your mana gained, and you know, it's good to use for your teammates too. Another quick macro I just thought of. This macro here basically just targets the Water Elemental, binds it, and then targets my last target. So this is really good for mages. The Water Elemental is a huge part. You know, I play a mage mainly, so I realize that Water Elemental is a huge part of my damage. You know, I get my Icicle procs from my Water Elemental. So just make sure if you keep your Elemental bound, if you keep the enemy Elemental bound all the time, it's definitely going to reduce the mage's damage output. So yeah, that's pretty much the main guide. I have my just focus hex, really simple focus modifiers and whatnot. Yeah, hopefully this was helpful. You know, my wind shear, focus wind shear, yeah, it's just kind of general macros from then on. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful, guys. Hopefully you guys will enjoy some Resto Shaman gameplay and have a good time. They're pretty easy to learn, they're pretty easy to master, but they have a higher skill cap at, you know, higher ratings, so you gotta play more smart because they're kind of squishy. Just pillar, I'm telling you, if this right here, if this is your pillar, you're just gonna want to be running around that pillar. It's just simple as hell. Run around a pillar, you win, guaranteed. So yeah, hopefully this was beneficial to you guys. Hopefully you had a good time. Thanks for watching, and I'll check you guys later. If you enjoyed the video, definitely make sure to subscribe. I do apologize for not doing a video in a while, but it's just been kind of busy. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. I'll see you later. Peace.